tough game, hard-fought game. Proud of our guys to do what they need to get over the top. Defense played well. I think offensively they did a great job doing some coverage looks and committed us up the pass. We ran it, but didn't run as good as we needed to. Some stats look like we ran it better than they did. That was kind of one of our Achilles' heels, our inability to throw it well. They did a great job on us there. They'll get some good little push out of Xander. Those guys in the running game, which was good to see. The turnovers hurt us. Early we got baited on a couple. Again, good looks by those guys. They kind of had changed some coverage and baited a quarterback, but we were able to clean that up. Come from behind to get the rival a win, to get a win to get to 6. Have a meaningful game in November. You don't play well, still play good enough to win. A lot to build on, a lot to work on. We'll head out recruiting, get our team polished up. A couple weeks after that, we're into finals. I'm sure we'll be the conference and the administration work hard to find us a great bowl spot. I know our kids are excited to have the practices and the opportunities, but really to go out and represent the school and keep moving forward and see if we can be fortunate enough to get a great opponent and play well and see if we can do what we need to get a bowl victory. So it's a good win. Proud of our guys.
Kevin, you were really aggressive last offseason about trying to get the defense improved, and this is another day where it felt like those guys kind of held the line. Is the offense worked through some different things? Just how gratifying is it to kind of see how far that unit has come, particularly with just how aggressive you were trying to get Tom Allen?
Very much, again, credit to Tom, one, just with him and getting his staff and everybody on the same page, so then they could take the message to the players, and they've been very consistent with that. Their standard. I'm really proud of the D-line. We lost some very good D-linemen off last year's team, 4 seniors. They had a big impact in last year's game, and this game, and last year's season. And to overcome that with the effort that those guys played with up front, all the secondary players are back. Tom did a great job with Coach Shelby, Coach Joseph, and Coach Hans getting those guys clean. But they've gotten so much better. And at the same time, when we look at it, I don't think we were so far off. It's better. I don't think we're we're encouraged, but we're not satisfied with where it is. I know, Coach Allen's comment today was we're going to do what it takes defensively to win the game, and they were able to do that. It's a sign again we're a more complete team because of that. But I know he and our players keep saying we want to keep working, keep building, keep recruiting, and keep it moving forward.
Coach, we're now winning 4 games in a row over your rival. You're running the bowl game back-to-back seasons. How important is that consistency to your program?
Well, we've been, and we're still not, I don't think as consistent as we want to be. We've been very, very competitive the last few years, a couple, 3, 4 years. And we've had some wins, but we haven't been able to back it up over and over. To back it up a little bit, still, to me, we let some slip away. And we're also very fortunate to win a couple that we win. And but to have the group that, to me, overcame this year. I mean, today we're on our 5th tackle. Coy Crunk woke up this morning with basically a virus. And he's having a hard time keeping anything down. Didn't play, so we're on our 5th right tackle. And we got a couple, after Divine Redding, a couple walk-ons playing running back. And keep going through all those things, and the guys keep playing, and just very, very encouraged, very, very appreciative of Xander Diamont and him embracing his role and being a backup quarterback and the second guy and embracing a role where quarterback. So, I mean, to me, the gratifying thing is, well, we got a group of kids, and we're talking about Coach Allen, and the big approach has been love. They love each other, they love playing the game, they love representing the school, and I think it's nice for them to have some accomplishments, but I think there's a great internal chemistry that those kids have for each other. There's only 11 suited out seniors playing today, and it was nice to see those guys play well.
You mentioned Xander. He went through senior day today. Is he moving on?
Yeah, I think so. I think just with help, as a swing, if you put him on skills right now, he's $161, and just the hits of playing. I think he just came to me a week ago. I think he's been talking about it and said, "Hey, I can graduate in summer, and I think this is it." He's been talking with his family. And I even asked him about the game. I said, "Are you sure?" He said, "I took a few hits out there today, Coach." I mean, he has one of his gifts, his ability to run. He's a small guy, and he plays with a lot of heart and a lot of courage. And that was a decision I think he and his family came through. I think they've discussed it for quite some time. He's still, though, last year Wes Rogers went through senior day. He came back. Fant's graduating. We're working hard to get him into grad school. I'm sure again he and I think a couple of guys won't be surprised. We'll talk, but he and I'm sure Oliver, T-Gray, Scales, those guys will look at the pro evaluation, visit with their families and see what their options are. It's that time of year. But I I think Xander, is kind of at the point where he thought this was his last few games here he's played. I think, and not that he's been hurt, but I think some of his hits are adding up on him. That's his comments.
Talk about Scales and Oliver in particular, the big plays they were making. I think they each had 4 tackles for loss and a couple of sacks.
They've been well, and that's not today, that's this week. Marcus is our, when Feeney went down, he truly became the team captain instead of the defensive captain. He's gotten, he's kind of like we said a few weeks ago, running the defense, and his stats are always rock solid. Tigre's probably flashed with a few more numbers and statistically made a few more tackles, but those are the heart and soul of our defense, the backbone. And when you're good on defense, you're good at linebacker. Those guys up front hold them up. But those guys connect the back to the front and the front to the back, and they're the glue. It's a credit to Coach Inge, but really Tom and their connection get those guys to play. And then you have Marcelino on the end. Those 3 backers have been really good. Best crew of backers we've had. And I think actually probably some of the better linebacking, probably one of the better linebacker cores in the Big Ten. It's a great group. Those are 2 great junior players. Love those 2 kids. Anything else?
What went into the decision to take the safety there at the end?
Well, with 10 seconds, we didn't know. We thought we could run it off. Sometimes, your finger's a little slow on the home second clock deal, but whatever, we got a second on there. We kind of drew it up in the dirt. I don't know, Xander started running. I thought he was going to trip on the 1 for a second, like run to the back corner, hang as long as you can and step out. But we were trying to run it down. And then from there, I gave him a chance to, we couldn't onside kick it, but we thought we could bop it down there and see what was up. We got lucky. We knew we were going to do the razzle-dazzle play, go around the yard. We just, we thought their greatest chance to win the game was a punt block. And by doing that, we thought we'd just minimize the odds.
Coach, the pair of interceptions Jonathan Crawford was able to make just would allow him to be so effective.
I didn't see the second one because I was working with the offense. The first one was a batted ball, team deal, but it was good to see. And again, we're talking about those linebackers. I think, the way we played too, with Marcelino is basically an outside backer safety, and the way John Crawford fit in, that's the 4th key piece in the way Tony Fields has played. Those guys have been solid. But John Crawford, an outstanding sophomore player. A lot of times a guy like him has a great freshman year. You don't see the second year as well. He's a very talented person. Great student of the game. Bought into our scheme, bought into learning. But that's a little bit of a team deal too, because I know the 1 pick was a little bit of a team deal. But Marcelino's had a great season for us.
Devine has 99 yards today. Has that big run down to the 1, and then second year in a row, 1,000 yards. Talk about him.
Well, it was a hard 1,000 yards. It was a lot of tough sledding. He's a steady guy. He's hands down one of our best practice guys. He's like some of our guys this next week. We'll give some time off here for a little bit, work our developmental players, our young guys, our freshmen. But he's got beat up a little bit. We need to get him fast and fresh for the bowl game. But he's a steady Eddie kid. He's what you guys see in the way he plays week after week, which sometimes may not the most flashy, but he's like that in spring ball. He's like that in the summer. He's one of our best leaders. Credit to Coach McCullough. And back-to-back, I think it's the first time since 91. Back-to-back 1,000-yard deals. So, I think a few years ago we hadn't had a 1,000-yard back in 20-some years or whatever, or maybe 15 years, whatever it is. And now with Tevin and moving forward, what we did with Jordan and Devine, we got a good run. It's credit to the O-line too. And that line was beat up, and it's a credit to those guys. But we'll be a better team as that run game keeps going. It was. We thought today going in the game we had to run the ball. And if we didn't, it'd been a hard deal because one big difference is I kept showing all the games the last couple of days. Thursday night, look who won the game, look at the turnovers, and look at the rush. Friday, look who won the game, turnovers and rush. And we wanted to, I didn't like those turnovers we had, but we thought we had to run the ball and stop the run.
Kevin, there's a long history in this game, coaches on their way out, winning the bucket game. How much were you concerned about the emotional lift they might get and the high they might come in on for this game?
Well, I was very concerned, one, just watching them play. And I made this comment, and I said something to Jared before the game. Didn't know. He told me that years ago, in 2007, he's at GA, we were sitting beside each other on a plane going to the coaching convention. And so he said, I remember that, you're at GA from Kentucky. He said, yeah. And, but when he wasn't a coordinator and he got named the interim coach, because I know Terry Malone well, his background from Michigan and the pros. I know they got a lot of quality coaches up there. But when I listened to him and watched him, I was very impressed with his leadership skills and the way his team had played. And I had no doubt. Now, I think I was more convinced than our team. And I was selling my butt up this week. I expected them to play well. And I was concerned because we talk about all the voices here. Hey, this one's whatever, point spreads in the game, blah, 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 versus making, today our motto was, again, keep it simple, communicate, get lined up, squeeze the ball, don't turn it over, run the football, keep the ball in front. We had some simple messages, because in a big game, sometimes the mind wanders and you get out of whack. And we were working really hard to make it simple. I had a lot of respect. I have a lot of respect for our rival. I always say that. And we're very, very blessed. And from afar, and I shared that with Coach after the game, I have a lot of respect for the way he's handled that team. He's done a great job. And we're very, very fortunate and very, very happy we won that game today.
Coach, I think other programs might take it for granted a little bit, but have you tried to impress upon this team how important it is for this program to achieve back-to-back bowl eligibility and the 4 buckets?
No, yeah, quite honestly, no. I mean, everybody knows that because everybody knows that. But all we talked about was the simplicity of the game, what it takes to win the game. Don't make the game bigger than it is. And the byproduct of, it's great to have this back-to-back bowl for recruiting, practice opportunities, exposure, notoriety to the conference and our team. Great credit to some seniors that have given a ton. I mean, Dan Feeney and some guys have sacrificed a lot of effort and sweat and blood and tears. And so to give those guys, as Jacob Bailey's comments stem from our team right over here the other day, hey, I just want 1 more month. And that's pretty cool now. I mean, because to me, that's more important than your bowl team. You just get to spend more time together. Because when you spend time playing ball, it's different than when you're spending time around campus. And the bonds they get and all that. Some of you guys heard the guys at the register. I mean, our guys have fun at practice. They love working hard. So to me, it was more about you just wanted more time with them than the historical deal about it. I think we're learning from history. We're trying to grow and create our own history. And again, proud of these seniors. Great group of guys.
Coach, now that you have that extra time going to the bowl, which guys that were nicked up that we didn't see today or maybe recently might be able to make it back for the bowl?
I mean, I hadn't really. We speculated and thought, but our medical guys will, and we're talking, for example, Dimitri Camille. I've even talked to him like he has a chance, I think, to be a free agent. But we've had a lot of free agents. It's hard to make the game. You want to put out stress coming off a back injury. But I know he wants to play. He was fighting hard to get back for this game. But Willie, Canny, I think Brandon Knight can be close. Simi Cobbs, we talked about can be close, but Simi, my question is, hey, you've got next year, but now you got a redshirt year, you got 2. And you can say, well, I'm going to have a good year and go pro. What if you don't? 1 game versus years. So there'll be a lot of those kind of decisions. But at the end of the day, it'll be good to get our team healed up. I know, and looking at some of the matchups we were talking about, we're going to have a strong opponent. We're going to need a lot of bullets in the holster. Everybody good? Appreciate it. Happy holidays, everybody.
Players in the weight room.